Oh Lord, did you go live?
We're live while you chewing.
While I'm chewing.
No, we're gonna chew. Hey, that's why it's chatted up. Listen, hey y'all. Hey. Stacy, see if you can go low and turn the Facebook one just a little bit more towards me. Just a little, boom, boom. Right there. That's perfect. Hey. We are back. We had such a good time last week. We are back today. And everything is front and center. Now, she can't hear y'all, so we ain't got our little chatted up cups. Some people, I've been getting some inboxes, and people like, oh, I like your cups. People look at our degrees, our bookcases. We can't please everybody, but I appreciate y'all following, and sharing. I'm your favorite coach and cousin, Coach Q. Hey, y'all. What's going on? And I'm here with my girl, Renee. Hey, y'all. So Renee and I had a great conversation last week. And then, she and I walk together, 3 times out of the week. And I tell you, we talk about everything maybe 4 and 5 times over and over again. And it's always great conversation. So Renee was invited back to be a part of this discussion today. And so we're just going to be kicking it with you all. But please continue to like, share, follow, subscribe, and all those things on YouTube. So if you're listening to us today on TikTok and on Facebook, thank you. We appreciate it. We would like for you to at least, maybe when you're cooking dinner or doing something, go over there to YouTube. Let us play. Hey, Facebook, I see the hearts. Hey, you TikTok, I see the hearts. Please go over there and let's get those views up on YouTube. Y'all know that's where, really where the money at. That may be the violation for TikTok. Like, they don't like you talking about other platforms. That could be it too. So either way, y'all, we have a very interesting topic today because, again, as the social media platforms blow up from dating, dating apps and all this other stuff, we thought that we would spend the end of year to have more of those types of conversations. And so I did some research on some topics. And so I want Renee to kind of chime in. And we have Stacy on the 1s and 2s. She's going to be on Facebook. She's going to be, I guess, in between TikTok. She's going to be on YouTube. Again, if my team, Carla, Nikki, and Sheik, if y'all are out there, if y'all could help her moderate as much as possible. But we just want to talk. This hour is going to fly. Before I move forward, I ask that y'all keep our fitness family in your thoughts as we have lost another dear sister within our fitness family. And God bless that family of Diane. And we know that last year, she had lost her son, Zumba man, Mike, who was really, really big in the fitness community. And so, for a family to lose, or mother to lose her son, and then for her to go ahead and transition to heaven, not 19 months later, it's just pretty shocking. And so that just tells you that mortality is just the reality. Sure as we live, we should also die. But what it did for me, Renee, is, just make me so appreciative again, just to be alive. Like, we take that for granted.
We do. We think it's promised to us. It is not promised. The next second is not promised.
It really isn't promised. And not that we should walk around afraid or scared or anything like that. You got it. Afraid or scared, but it just makes us conscious and aware. Mm-hmm. So before I transition to my topics, thank you again for those from Breathe Easy Foundation perspective who continue to send in their tax-exempt donations to us. You doing so helps us be able to bless, families such as Diane. I know last week we were able to give a care basket to another young lady because her son is up in the hospital in the northern part of Virginia. And also last week, or was it a week before last, we were able to donate a Christmas tree to a family in need. So Breathe Easy Foundation is out on the streets doing this thing. And if y'all haven't already, go to Facebook, y'all. Go to Facebook, TikTok. We had us a ball last night at our Breathe Easy end of year karaoke celebration. All right. Y'all, we sang. Let me tell y'all something too, real quick. Yo, I don't curse outside the bedroom, right? That's been my thing for years. But baby, last night I said a cuss word, and I said it like I mean it, y'all. The A to the double S. And I didn't mean to. I just read it off the screen, and before I know it, it was the cuss words. And then when I read the subsequent words, look at her. She don't even know where to look. It's like the third or fourth one towards me. Oh, that's crickets. The one right under it? Maybe that's what she wanted to say. And some wonk wonks.
Yes.
But listen, y'all, I said that word, and then I started reading those words on the screen. I was like, oh, is that the words to the song? You never know. Mm-hmm. Now, this person to my right may be looking to your left. Oh, she knew what the ASS meant because she was like, back it up, back it up, back.
Like repeat.
I was like, repeat.
And I didn't even realize it.
I mean, she said it, Stacey, about a good 50 times. But either way, back to back. I don't know if she was dancing or not, but y'all, we had us a good time. And the reason, we're always looking for opportunities to create memories, but the reason it was so much more monumental last evening is because, again, we never know. You never know. My sister Tara, shout out to you, Tara. I don't know if you probably sleep before you have to go to work, or I don't know if you work tonight. But what she said is she was like, oh my gosh, is, from a sibling perspective, it's 4 of us, well, plus my 2 cousins, 6 of us. And she says, as we mature in age,
right.
The reality is one of us is going to be first. Like, and you be like, I don't want to be first, but I don't want you to be first, but I don't want them to be, because you don't want to be that person. And then you don't want to be the person left here. Behind, right. But the reality is it's going to happen. So what's my feedback to you in sharing this as a prelude? Get your house in order. And what I mean by that, a good friend of ours, Crystal Miller, shout out to her and her mom and her family. When her dad transitioned to heaven, he had a folder. That's what Crystal told me. And all they had to do was follow the instructions in the folder. You may not be to that extent. We've talked about it before on this podcast, but you need to make sure that your insurance papers are accessible. If you don't have insurance, life insurance, you need to get some. I know everybody can't get whole life, so get something like term life insurance. You need to make sure that your wishes are out there. If you have minor children, who's going to raise your children? Don't just be like, okay, they'll figure it out. Me owning a fitness studio, I told Kiki, like, straight up, hey, I want you to handle this part of the studio, do this. Y'all can keep it or do whatever. But if we decide, not to give away the stuff to my tribe, first, like, everything is really spelled out, Renee. What about you? Do you feel like you have, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you feel like you have things organized and in order enough that if for some reason our time comes, you know?
No, and when things like this happen, when things like this happen, it just kind of drives it home that you want to make things easier for your family. They're already dealing with the loss, and now they have to figure things out. And I've done that with my family. Like, we're digging through stuff, trying to find insurance papers, trying to find if they had insurance. And I don't really want that to happen, so I need to work on that. I need to make a better effort at working on providing a plan for myself, my husband, my kids.
Yeah. And those things are important. I remember, even though Cage transitioned to heaven, I said, Lord forbid, if something were to happen to me, I wanted to make sure that Cage and Jordan were set up. And so my insurance policies were so they were able to maintain the lifestyle that we have should I go somewhere. Being that he wasn't the biological father of my 2 oldest children. Right. I love them. Love you, Bishop. Love you, Seer. I didn't want them thinking they was going to take all the money from my husband and my other child, right? And then Jordan was a minor, which meant that his cares and needs were a little different than my adult children. But, unfortunately, or I should say, however, my husband transitioned first, and we were still set up, and I was able to handle things, but I couldn't imagine having to go through that. And even this week, I was able to donate, I swear, it's probably about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of clothes and shoes to a business that I believed in. And some of that stuff I only wore once or twice. So what I want to say is, in your closets, we have stuff in our homes that could be a blessing to other people that we're not even utilizing. Excessive TVs, radios, all that other stuff. Let's just give. And I always talk about I want to get married. I don't know where he would put his stuff. I made a little bit of room. He made between all the closets, it may got this much room. But really, in reality, I had to get rid of, some of that stuff. So I want to encourage you. So Renee, I'm sure you probably got some room to make, don't you?
I know you do. Oh, I do. I really do. You do. And I look too, and I'm like, OMG, I would really hate for somebody to have to go.
Come in here. That's what I said. I was like, oh my gosh, you don't want nobody coming behind you and all that other stuff. And I always tell my family now, don't be surprised if you find toys tucked away. I just gonna go ahead and call it out. Be like, oh my God. Listen. Like they be like, like what you gonna do? I don't care if you talk about.
Right, just don't donate it.
Just don't donate that. Don't donate that. Because remember that was something on Facebook where like it was a rose in the thrift store at Goodwill. Y'all throw that stuff away. Don't. Yes, girl.
Yes, for like $1.99.
$1.99. I don't want your reused rose. Anyway, all right. So that was our prelude. Hey, look, Stacy's like this. She didn't even do the womp, right? She couldn't even bring herself to it. So thank you and welcome to today's episode 22. We want conversation from you like we did before. And I'll try not to, because I have a lot of cars, I'll try not to bogart the conversation, but I really want to dump some information in y'all because as I researched this and began to study, it was a lot of things I didn't know. And then I realized I was a victim of, I don't know if I want to call it a victim, but I was that person. And so episode 22 is recognizing the warning signs. Recognizing the warning signs is what we entitled it. And I learned a new word. And when I said it, like one of my team members was like, oh yeah, I heard that word before. And it was called toxic masculinity. Have y'all ever heard that? If you can, put me thumbs up, hearts up. It's called toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a term that has been gaining traction in the past few years. This term refers to the dominant form of masculinity wherein men use dominance, violence, and control to assert their power and superiority. Like, I think about a guy I met in the club. That's what that was. Mm-hmm. He thought he was going to strong arm me. And y'all, he was handsome. He was a nice old handsome strong.
And so you might think initially, oh, I like this.
I was like, ooh,
I like a masculine man. Ooh, he's a man.
Him strong.
I like that. Yeah. And then you start seeing these little tidbits of, wait a minute, this is not quite right. Yeah.
This isn't what I want.
No, But initially it seems like it could be sexy.
Yeah, it could be sexy because he was all strong. He like grabbed me and stuff around my waist. But thereafter, honey, when I told him it wasn't him, that joker went off.
Yes.
He really, really did. And I had no problem dismissing him. But the reason I say that is we have to recognize those signs early. Because I could have excused the behavior and found myself in a situation. Right. Now I'm stuck. And that's what happens. The signs come early, y'all. Let me tell y'all, we're loved enough by the man above all of us that he'll send warning. How many times have you ignored a warning? Like early in relationships, right? We have. Mm-hmm. We have. So it's called toxic masculinity. So just be aware. Now, this conversation is not a men badgering conversation. It's just the reality is most of these characteristics do associate with men. But I want to let y'all know is some of y'all strong, masculine, and I'm not talking about sexuality wise. I'm talking about masculine, bossy women that are abusive to their husbands, to men.
They are.
Their boyfriends. I know that there are women out there that are abusive as well. Yeah. And abuse isn't just physical. It can be controlling, emotional. Exactly. They can't do nothing. You're blaming them for everything. You're calling them stupid. You're not allowing them to walk in their authority. And then one that I did know of, Renee, is sociopath. Like a sociopath is a person with a mental illness. Like I didn't realize that it was an illness. Like a sociopath that's a mental illness. Is a person with a mental illness that manifests in extremely antisocial behavior. But listen, and the inability to distinguish right from wrong. And is a sociopath somebody you should be afraid of? Yeah. Absolutely, because they're dangerous because they're right and wrong. They don't have that thermometer to say what's right or wrong, right? And what that means is, in essence, they could do things and you confront them on that behavior and they become very defensive and attacking and they'll blame you. And so women, there are a lot of us in relationships with sociopaths and they done turned it to us. They'll make us think that nobody likes us. Right. Nobody is us that's crazy. And we begin to then second guess some of the things we're feeling and some of the things that we're going through.
It falls into one of your other topics, which is gaslighting.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to flip it. Now they're going to gaslight. It's not you. It's not them. It's you.
It's you. It's you. And because you brought that up, listen, Renee, gaslighting occurs in intimate relationships when a partner repeatedly undermines or distorts their partner's reality by denying facts, the situation around them, or their partner's feelings and needs. That's gaslighting. Like, it was like, well, why is that gaslighting? Like, what makes that connect? as gaslighting. It said it can cause a survivor to question themselves and become unable to trust their own perceptions and judgments. Meaning these individuals are so powerful that you'll second guess. Like, wasn't there a passion mark on his neck? He'd be like, you know, there ain't no passion mark. You know, that was over there when I leaned over there on that elbow on the chair, and then the straw made a mistake and stuck me, and it looked like that. And you be like, he did lean into the straw. Yeah. You know goodness well there wasn't no straw leaning. You know that's a passion mark up under your arm right here. Right here. Constantly minimizing or invalidating your feelings. Right. Mm-hmm. And now that can happen very subtly. Yeah. You know, very subtly. I've been in conversation with a gentleman, and, you know, say if they were supposed to do something and all of a sudden they don't do it. And then when you talk to them again, they don't even bring it up. Well, when we supposed to connect yesterday? And I ain't even hear from you.
Oh, because you didn't call me. Oh. Because now they flipping it on you.
Yeah.
You didn't call them.
Yeah, I didn't call you because
I thought we had to plan.
I thought we had to plan.
You were picking me up at 6.
Yeah. So what happened? Well,
you didn't call.
You know I work, and I was tired, and I laid down on the bed trying to take a nap real quick. I mean, all I was doing is sleep.
And if you had called me, then I would have woke up and I would have been there.
Yeah, and it seemed like you would understand that I work. I'm working.
Oh, okay.
Why everything got to be about you, Renee? That's what they'll do. And you be like, well, they do work a lot of hours. And I mean, it ain't always got to be about me. Well, you right. Yeah. And before you know it, baby, they done pulled you. Like, I feel every emotion in me.
I was so insensitive.
Like,
I should have thought more about his feelings.
I should have thought more about his feelings. Like, really, we're going to pause right there.
What'd you say,
Stacey? Listen, thank you, Stacey. If you're on YouTube, you heard that wonk wonk. But y'all, let's pause right there. Let's put a pin right there. Right. So I need TikTok, I need Facebook, I need YouTube, and literally Stacey is on all 3. I don't know what's going on YouTube down there. But listen, if you've experienced that, put some of them things on in the comments. Like, have you ever had something twisted on you and it made you think that it was you, and you start thinking it was you?
Mm-hmm. You start thinking it's you. Well, maybe it is me.
Maybe it is me. And then that junk happened again. And they've gotten so good at it, and now you've developed this muscle to believe in that mess.
Yeah. Because you think, well, maybe I am nitpicking.
Maybe I am nitpicking. Like, I mean, come on, you know it's you, sweet mama.
Yeah.
You know it's you. Cook it chum.
I guess so.
It is you. You know you. Come on. I mean, I'm just trying to
really work on myself.
Yeah. And then I ain't been feeling good either. I must have ate something. Like, they will convince you that you're the one, right? So and I'm only going to stay here because, Renee, we kind of jumped, and it's all going to connect. I talked to you about what gaslighting is. It says avoiding taking responsibility for their actions. Mm-hmm. They don't take responsibility for their actions to the point they lie. They regularly recall events differently than you, using words like, you're overreacting, you're dramatic, you're overly sensitive, and even some result to using the crazy word. And then it'll have you self-doubting, right? Acting reactively or intensely where it's unwarranted. So they make me like, why are you tripping? I mean, I'm right here now. Like, yo, bruh. Like, who are you? We got to know our value. Y'all, this is so big. Like, all across Facebook, which I know my phone is listening, and so probably some reels are gonna pop up about it. And Kitty, y'all know Kitty, she be dropping the knowledge. And she, we talk about those things, y'all, but we can't become so numb to these inappropriate behaviors that we deem it as okay.
We think it's okay.
And we start expecting it. Mm-hmm. And so then when we start engaging, and let me tell y'all this, I understand intimate relationships doesn't have to be sexual relationships. I do want to say that there are some friends that you can have, platonic friends, even of the same gender, that will gaslight you, make you think it's always you too. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want y'all to be moved by just relation male-female or female-female couples. But you can have a friend of yours that always want to blame you. No, it's because you're looking at it that way. Nah, it ain't like that. Y'all, we got to pay attention to this, right? And it says you are, they'll make statements like you're too sensitive for your own good, or you always think I'm hurting your feelings and no one else would think my words are hurtful. Why you always think I'm hurting your feelings? Oh, looks like Stacey may have something. Stacey, what you got for us?
So Tiffany LaWanda, hey
Tiffany! Hey! On TikTok, Tiff. Hey, boo!
She says, are we talking about narcissism? because that can fit in that category.
It can too. Like gaslighting, it falls into that as well. Yeah, we know there's some narcissists. No accountability for their action, and they'll blame it on you. Yep. So a behavior that a narcissist demonstrates is, again, gaslighting. Yeah. Because even the guy I was talking about at the club, he admitted that he was a narcissist. Tanya was on that phone.
Straight out.
He said straight out. He said, I may be a narcissist, but I was like,
but I'm still the man.
But I'm still a man. Like, you better know. You better know, because they want me. Oh, okay. Yes. Well, let them go ahead and want you, bro.
They want narcissists and all.
And all. He said it.
Yes.
And he said it. My friend was like, if I wasn't in here listening, I would not believe it, Quetta. So definitely, he admitted that he was a narcissist. And he wanted to trip, even in that conversation. Yes. Like it was me. I thought you were different, but you like the rest of them. Oh, okay. Listen,
Yes,
hey, Stacey said she about to cuss for real. It's about to be a real cuss. So yes, LaWanda, that's it. So listen, oftentimes in relationships that involve, I don't want to go there yet. This is another, I'm not going to go on that topic yet. We talked about it earlier. Let me make sure I finish the piece on, gaslighting. Downplaying your concerns. Example, no one else gets worked up about things like you do. I ain't never had a girl like that. I ain't never had a guy who always overreacted for anything that needs to happen. You know what they begin? They become to be a professional manipulator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they'll accuse you of being the manipulator.
Exactly.
You over there crying now, trying to control the situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's always me. You always trying to make it seem like I'm the problem. But you're the problem.
Right, and you'll start believing it. You'll be like, well,
you start questioning yourself.
And let me tell y'all, and this, LaWanda, this may be a reason right now why I'm single and all that. Because I will remind them, I know who I am. I know you gotta know that you're a great catch. That's you gotta know that you deserve better. When you begin to second guess yourself, and let me tell y'all, being better or knowing better has nothing to do with how cute you are, how bad your body is, how much money you have. Because let me tell y'all about these folk. They will cheat on what's the girl, Kardashian, not that girl. What's the girl? Kim Kardashian. Not Kim. Kylie. What's the other rapper girl name? Not Nicki. Not
Remy Ma.
Not Remy. What's the other one? Nicki Minaj. I know you know it, LaWanda. And this girl, Cardi B.
Cardi B, yeah.
They get cheated on. They got money. They done paid for their body. They beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It isn't based on that.
No, it's
but
not.
what will happen is when these individuals do this to us, we start second guess. Am I not pretty enough? And they'll tell us that we're ugly.
Yeah.
Now, beauty, I do believe, is in the eye of the beholder. But y'all know what I'm saying. Ideally, there's some individuals that most people can see. They're like, oh, they're very attractive. When you see them, you know them. But this man will have you second guessing your worth.
Down emotionally. You're questioning your appearance. You're questioning who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. And by the time they get through dancing on your self-esteem, you're going to think you are Hagatha.
So what would you say? Do you feel like gaslighting will affect someone's mental health?
Oh, absolutely.
In what respect?
Well, you start questioning yourself.
Right.
When you're sitting up there saying, well, maybe I am pushing the envelope. Maybe I'm worrying you about, maybe I am nagging you. And you're really not. You're trying to address concerns that you might have. Mm-hmm. But the way it's being spun to you is though, you're just nagging them. Right. Or you're just worrying about stuff that's not even important. Or, well, I don't really want to deal with that. And so now you start wondering, like
I really am tripping. I saw something else, because another thing that comes up on Facebook is these court shows, and they're pretty extensive. And it was a young lady, I forget the guy name that she was on, and she was like, she's been married and her husband hadn't been intimate in 2 years. Neither one of them are ill. And she's like, to the point where she starts sleeping in another room. He doesn't hold her hand. He doesn't, do anything. And he says, it's because of you. It's because of you. And then she had pictures, y'all, literally, like she said, he's ghost sexing. I had never heard of that.
Ghost sexing?
Ghost sexing, where he would gesture or have his body like as if he's with someone and really isn't. And she had pictures of that. He said, how I know what I'm doing in my sleep? To the point where he was convincing her that she was, like, she don't understand, like somebody understands what they're doing in their sleep. Like, I was like, it's some stuff out here, but you just got to be made. You look sharp. You just got to be. You got to be made aware. You just really have to be made aware, y'all, because again, anybody who downplays your concern, they really don't care about you. Like again, I keep saying that even from a friend to friend perspective, a platonic friendship, if somebody's downplaying your feelings,
right.
Hey, when you did this, it made me feel this way. And I learned that when I'm facilitating like conflict resolution, courageous conversations, sometimes when you're going to people and you're like, you did this, you did that, they don't like to be blamed or cornered.
Right.
And so a rephrasing of that, and I remember my husband used to say, don't Capital One me. But I was like, when you do this is how it makes me feel.
Right.
When your communication is inconsistent, it makes me feel like there's someone else. Right. When your communication is inconsistent, it makes me feel like you don't want me. When your communication is inconsistent, or when we can only pull up on your time, it makes me feel like you have something else going on.
I'm not important.
And I'm not important. Mm-hmm. And when you rephrase those things, mm-hmm. you got to be ready for them to say, oh, you want it to be about you. And I had one guy to tell me, he was like, well, I'm not one of your followers, who are like all about you. I was like, whoa. Because anybody who know me, I don't have to be the center. I don't need an audience to be the center. I will be the center all by myself. Those who know me say amen. Wonk, clunk, clunk, clunk. Right, go ahead, Stacey. Give me. Listen, I'll be in this room by myself doing what I do because I don't need an audience. But this person would make me think, like, I was like, dang, am I trying? No, I'm not trying to be the center. What I am is expecting you to communicate with me a little bit more. Right. Don't tell me good morning and then tell me, and then
don't talk to me all day.
Put WYD, and then at the end of the night, where I'm teaching, then you want to call.
Yeah, and then because I can't talk.
I called you.
Well, I called you. You the one that couldn't talk to me.
Right.
Oh, is that what we doing? Is that what we doing?
And listen, y'all, we're using real life experiences so y'all can know.
Yes.
Y'all can know, and I'm sure y'all have examples. And it's always funny, you'll meet that guy, they be like, I don't know why you single. I mean, a man would love to have you. Ooh, he would love to have you. So smart, you cute, you got everything going on. Baby, we're moving into it. I got so much more with gaslighting, but I'm gonna come back there. I'm gonna come back to gaslighting in a second. Listen, it's called being love bombed. Mm-hmm. Listen, check this one out, y'all.
Blowing your head up.
Check this out, baby. And listen, my love bomber, me and him cool. But it was love bomb. Let me tell y'all about these love bombers. Oftentimes in relationship that involve love bombing, you'll experience intense highs and very low lows. Explains, if a doctor or a therapist. Things will seem amazing and perfect in the beginning. Yes. Yeah, I remember I was like, oh my gosh, we got so much in common. Things were just so just perfect, right? And then eventually the facade will crash as the relationship cannot withstand the pressure placed upon it. And you and I always talked about it. You was like, they gonna be able to keep up with it.
He's not gonna be able to hold it up.
You can't hold it up because after a while, the helium comes out of that balloon. It may be up in the air for a while, but the helium is gonna come out. The bottom line is love bombing has the potential to turn into an emotionally abusive situation fast.
Right.
As quick as you started it, as quick as it can
shift.
It will shift, y'all.
It will shift.
I don't know what's going on with that TikTok camera. That's my old phone. How it look? Let me. Oh, I'm good. Okay, it just looked weird. Okay.
Dimmed. Yeah, the screen.
So the screen dimmed out. But Renee, being love bombed can make a person feel suffocated, pressured, or overwhelmed by the time they spend together. I mean, the phone will ring off the hook all day to the point where you now doing the ringing too, and you expect it. So you turn into that person who called 10 times. If I don't answer the first, y'all see me getting all hype. Let me calm down. If I don't answer the first 2 times, that means maybe I'm doing something.
Right.
Because if I ignored you the first 2 times, the other 10 times I'm ignoring you too, even more so. Right? So being love bombed, like I said, can make a person feel suffocated, pressured, overwhelmed, and it can damage one's self-esteem, leading to feelings of needlessness, insecurity, anxiety, or depression. So what happens is when you move on from it and then you meet people who aren't calling as much, and see, that was my dilemma. I went from 50 calls a day with one to maybe a call and a half a day. And I was like, well, you don't like me. I just need somewhere in the middle.
Right.
You ain't got to call me all day and do all that. My phone stays on Do Not Disturb more often than not, D&D. And it stays on Do Not Disturb because they be disturbing me. My personal number is my business number purposefully because I've had this phone number now for like 28 years and I don't want to, change that. But, it can feel overwhelming, but initially it feels flattering.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh my God, like I'm his bae.
He
like
really liked me. He loved me.
He loved me. I'm his bae. Like he driving, he doing this, he there, he whining, dining, he telling me you so fine, you so ooh. And y'all blowing your head up.
Yes.
You're suffocating to the point where you can't even take it anymore. But you got to recognize the signs. And let me be clear. I don't want to say to everybody out there the fact that your significant other is texting you multiple times a day and calling you multiple times a day and telling you how beautiful and amazing you are. That could all be facts. Mm-hmm. What I am saying is don't ignore any warning signs. Just, pay attention to the behavior. And is the behavior sustainable? Yeah. How are they now behaving? Because what they'll begin to do is manipulate, and then they're going to all of a sudden need some. You be like, oh, what's wrong with you? No, I'm just going through some stuff. Or what's wrong? Well, my check can get deposited, or something happened with this or something. Yeah. And you be like, well, no problem, baby, because we're together. I got you. Mm-hmm. And you can sincerely mean it. Let me be clear. I'm a giver. I'm not throwing off any shade if any of my people are watching. What I am saying is you still fall into this mode then of rescuing the love bomber, because he done told you that he love you and that you everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you're getting suckered in and manipulated in, Renee, and controlled and lured. And
so now, you don't want him to be down on his luck.
Right.
And you don't want him to have a bad day. So now I need to do everything in my power to lift him back up.
Lift him back up, because that's my baby. And if I don't, you saw me down and you ain't even. Yeah. And it's not. And y'all, let me talk about this. Is in a short period of time. Oh. Like the studies show, this is in the short period of time, within 30 to 90 days, y'all. 30 to 90 days. And all of a sudden, we in love, ready to get married. Let me be clear. I met my late husband in November, right around Thanksgiving, November 2011. Our first date was his birthday, December 22nd, so it's next Sunday. He asked me to marry him in January. I married him in July. Mm-hmm. We were together, and we have an 11-year-old. So I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying, and I'm not saying it was peaches and cream those 60, 90 days, but Kay sure wasn't talking about your poop smell good. Nah, he was a real dude, right? He would tell me, nah, get it together. He wasn't gaslighting me. He wasn't blowing my head up. He was making sure that he held me accountable for my actions, and that he was partnering, and that it was an equal. And I'm not saying it has to be equal, but it was both of us were equally invested in what we want. And y'all, I want to say that somebody who's really interested in you, male, female, whatever your preference is, it shouldn't be that hard. And I know some people say if you really want it, you got to work for it. Leave that to being an athlete. Leave that to being an investor. But in a relationship, if you really go for me, you'll make time. Right. Now, I was tired of, you can't be always too busy. Right. But you weren't too busy 2 months ago when you were gaslighting. Exactly. But now that the gas have escaped throughout my head, now you want to fall back. We have to hold people accountable. In that accountability, you ask yourself, well, does somebody who's gaslighting or who's love bombing, do they know that they're doing that? Do they realize that they're doing it? And remember what I talked about earlier. Sometimes people don't know. Again, narcissists, this guy was the first one that I've ever heard admit it. When I tell that story, people's like, he said it? Yo, he said it. He said it. I had my friend Kiki, shout out to you if you're watching the replay. She was like, oh, he gonna reach back out. I was like, well, he hasn't yet. She said, he gonna wait you out. He waiting for some of the situations to change in his head or what he see. And as soon as he feel like this individual may have moved on, y'all know what I'm talking about, those who know, he's going to try to creep back in and be like, I told you it was me. No, it still wasn't you. It still ain't you. Even if you're watching it ain't you.
And he also needs that last exchange you had to fade some.
He needed to fade. Because that last exchange was rough. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, y'all. He ain't strong on me or corny me because I got 2 grown kids. Yes. Okay? They won't play the games. And sisters and a tribe. My tribe showed up. Listen, that's a different story. But I want to make sure that you know that don't allow somebody to put you in a corner so much now that you're acting reactively and that you are now turning everything back on you like it's your fault. Hold people accountable for their actions, especially, again, if they're downplaying your concerns. Voice your concerns. Somebody who want to move on, don't want to pay attention. Now they're too busy and they want to boo and bay you up. No. Mm-mm. Do not manipulate the situation. Nope. Call these things out early. So, Renee, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like a gaslighter can a relationship that has been gaslit, do you think that relationship with some accountability can take a turn to the right direction?
I think if the person that is causing those issues realizes that that's what they're doing and they want to make a change, that they're willing to accept some accountability. But if they want to kind of, no, it's not me, it's you, then no, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because sometimes we're trying to manage, if you're attempting to manage a psychologically abusive relationship, it's going to get overwhelming. It's going to be too much, because they're going to be throwing it back on you, and you ain't going to be able to keep up. You ain't even going to be able to resolve these 2 things before there's 8 more.
Right, exactly. So
and
you're
they
gonna be
show back up like
fires.
nothing is wrong, y'all.
Yeah.
So again, the reason we're having this conversation, if you're just joining, Chat It Up with Coach Q, which is everyday conversations about the ish that we as adults go through, right? Again, you can follow our YouTube channel, You can follow our YouTube channel called Chat It Up with Coach Q to watch previous episodes. This is episode 22. And what we're talking about is don't ignore the warning signs. And we're having conversations around a few things. Toxic masculinity. We talked about a social path. We talked about gaslighting. We talked about love bombing. And so you just have to make sure that you're not allowing yourself to be consumed by somebody else's emotional instability. Right. Which brings me to a question that I've been wanting to converse about. So Stacey, you listen, be ready. Okay. I need y'all all to be ready. Renee, I'm gonna start with you. So you start this new dating relationship with this guy. You don't see signs of love bombing. You don't see signs of, look, Renee, ready, of gaslighting. He doesn't seem to have any toxicity. However, comma dash, his ex-girlfriend reaches out to you. She's like, nope. His ex-girlfriend reach out to you and be like, listen, I was with him 8 years. It started off the same way. I just want to be able to give you some information, tell you to be aware, because he real good. As a matter of fact, he can hang in there a little long. I just want to let you know, just be careful, because he got a lot with him. As a matter of fact, he's a narcissist. First of all, would the conversation even get that far? And if it did get that far, would you listen to what she said? Would you tell him? How would you handle that if an ex is coming to tell you about your new man? And while she's thinking, y'all in the comments, tell me if you would listen to the ex-girlfriend. Would you take her advice? Would you listen? Would you table it? Would you pocket it? What would you do, Renee?
I would take it under consideration.
Okay. For YouTube, get in your mic a little bit more if you can. Are you on this? Okay.
Yeah, I would take it under consideration.
Okay, you would. You would.
I'm not saying that I would necessarily end that relationship on those words, but I would be very mindful about where the relationship goes and how it goes.
Okay, so let's play that out. You tell him, hey, your ex-girl called me. Don't listen to her, because she just hating because I'm with you, and she always, she just want me back. So she probably gonna end up lying on me. How do you handle that?
Well, I guess as I would. The same way I handled it with her, I'm going to take it under consideration.
Okay, take it under consideration.
Yeah, so I'm probably not going to disconnect him just yet, but
that means you're going to be looking for stuff then, just because she said it and then she putting that stuff in your head, and you're going to be, don't even get caught up, because baby, you different. Me and your relationship ain't like that. It was her, because she all messy and confusing. That's why she ain't got no friends.
See, I already have a problem with somebody that wants to throw somebody under the bus anyway. But the flip side of that is she trying to throw him under the bus.
Right.
So and there's always, there's 3 sides to a story.
Right.
It's her side, his side, and what really went down.
Right. But is she throwing him under the bus, or is she trying to look out for another woman?
I think if we didn't have any interaction, like he says, oh, she wants me back, right? But I haven't seen any indications that she wants him back. And she's just trying to be forthcoming. I'm like, yeah, it's probably you, dude.
It's yeah. So you just gotta you gotta just hold that ace, because you never know. Okay, you never know.
It's paused.
Which one?
TikTok.
Okay, so it did pause. So it must have went out. Okay, y'all, TikTok went out, so we just gonna continue with Facebook and YouTube. Kinda. Let me just grab this phone, y'all, because this chatted up with Coach Q. I'm gonna bring it over here and see what happened, because I don't know what went on. Did the phone die? That's what happened, y'all. The phone died.
Oh, the phone is dead.
The phone is dead. That's what happened. Oh, so that's what.
Yeah, see, that's a tough. That's a tough scenario.
So we're gonna come back on, Stacey. It's gonna be another chat. Okay, that's a tough scenario.
Yeah,
so,
that's a tough scenario.
Okay.
Because again, there are women that are not necessarily.
My man. TikTok ready to do it, y'all.
Okay.
I'm telling you, let me go right here.
Let's get it started.
There we go. Let's get it started. Okay, here we go.
Because there are women that would try to undermine their relationship, but the flip side of it is that woman really could have had a tough time with this dude.
Right.
And we all know how to present ourselves in a shiny light or a shiny new coin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it takes some time in being in a relationship really especially if he's a professional.
What makes him a professional, Renee?
When he can conceal that identity. That Clark Kent,
Representative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because we all have reps.
Let me resume. Haven't we all sent representatives in relationships?
Absolutely.
Because I know my husband was like, I thought you cooked.
I did.
I was like, I did, I'm busy.
Yeah,
I'm busy now. So Stacey, anybody say anything about if they would take the advice of an ex-girlfriend? Sorry, TikTok. I don't even know if my screen got it looked like it got some dinginess on it. Y'all excuse me. Let me wipe that screen and make sure
just a second, baby. We gotta clean the screen. Just a second,
baby. Let's make sure we clear that screen. Okay.
So Tiffany LaWanda says that she would listen and put it in the back of her mind and thank her. She would thank her, but she would not tell him that she took part in the conversation.
I like that. I like that because when you tell him, and then how they react too.
He's going to be defensive.
He's going to be defensive.
Yes, and he's going to start throwing her under the bus because he doesn't want you to listen to her. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
And relationships are listen. My husband was divorced, so it was different. Okay, what else, Stacey?
Now, Miss Connie says...
Miss Connie.
First of all, she said everybody needs a Miss Connie. She said you got a Miss Connie, too, along with your tribe and your kids and all. You got a Miss Connie.
I got Miss Connie.
First. And secondly, she says she being a hater and she would not listen to her. And those are some toxic things that, some people can't stand to see their ex move on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And see, that's why I wanted to talk about this, y'all, because it's like... Is it the ex? Is she? Because it is some ex people that are toxic.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
But what if they probably don't want y'all together? That may be true.
That's true.
And so at the same time, I'm still going to tell you about his mess, though. So I don't want y'all together, and that's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you, because I don't want y'all together. And if I tell you and you believe me, then y'all not going to be together. But it doesn't mean that it's not the truth.
Right.
Just because I said it. So again, I'm not trying to muddy. I just wanted to know if y'all would listen to the ex, because the last thing and then sometimes you be like, dang, she was right.
Well, that's the flip side of it is if she was right, then go ahead, Stacey.
I'm sorry, I was going to piggyback on what you said, because Teresa from Facebook says that happened to her. And it was a protector for her because everything the ex told her was right.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. So 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You just gotta. So it goes back then to what you're saying, to Stacey's point. Take the information. And LaWanda said, maybe I ain't gonna tell her.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna hold out.
Yep, I agree with LaWanda. Yeah. You hold that information to yourself, and you just watch how it plays out.
And watch how it plays out.
Watch how it plays out.
For how long? Because do you feel?
Well, like you said, what love bombing, what 30
like they
to
say,
90
they
days?
say 30 to 90 days with that. But what about the other things, like a sociopath? Sometimes they can play that game for a long time. They can, and they go along with it, or you've ignored the behavior so much that it goes on because you recognize it early on. It's almost like they say about divorces. By the time somebody get the actual divorce, the marriage been over.
Right.
But you just came to the reality. Listen to this, y'all. They say a toxic relationship is any relationship that is damaging to your mental health. So that's what I mean. It may not be love bombing. It may not be gaslighting. Right. They may not be a narcissist. any relationship, and that's the reason why I wanted to, oh my gosh, y'all hear my passion? Yes, you hear it. That's why I was saying not just intimate relationships or couple relationships. If you have friendships with girls or guys or your people that is damaging to your mental health, your self-esteem, and your overall well-being, then you got to be aware of that. Yeah. There are some bully friends. Your girl is a bully.
And also, too, with friendships, you're dealing with, it could be jealousy. Or envy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, yeah, I think you're beautiful. But the fact of the matter is, I might be envious of you because every time we hang out, all the guys are gravitating to you.
Right.
And nobody says anything to me except, excuse me, what's your friend's name?
Yeah.
You know, so you might start feeling some type of way. I can't go anywhere with you, you know? Mm-hmm. Or now I try to make sly comments about you to make you feel like, oh, you might be promiscuous.
Right. Yeah,
I'm going to
say
some jacked up stuff to you because I need you not to be the belle of the ball, so to speak, every time we go out.
Right.
Because I need to shine. And I feel like I can't shine if I'm with you, but I say I'm your girl though.
But I said I'm your girl. Listen, I have somebody that and you know, again, they don't measure your action, we measure people's intent. But this is what she would say. People was like, oh my gosh, look at you. You're so beautiful. Like, you really look good. I like your outfit, or I like your arms, or oh my gosh, your shoulders. And I would have a young lady who, you know, who's my friend. And she was like, but you know, she used to be big. And this stranger doesn't know that one way or another. Right. And it was like, yeah, so she really looked good. Yeah. I mean, she looked good then, and she used to dress then and blah, 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 blah. And when they did it once or twice, but every time somebody would compliment me, they would lead with that. And I had to check them on. They was like, you know, I mean, no harm. I just want them to know you lost weight. Why? Because what the compliment they gave had nothing to do with my weight loss.
Yeah.
They just said, you know, that I was a bump. So again, people will want to take, to your point, that shine away. But if it's affecting your mental health, and then also check this. It says your well-being and in what a relationship, prioritizing love over, okay, here it is. I don't care how fine they are, how much they want to hang out with you and they call you their girl, your woman, your man. If these three core components of a healthy relationship do not exist, then the relationship is toxic.
What are they?
I'm not saying stop the relationship. I'm not saying cut it off. I'm saying it is toxic.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware.
Yeah. And you need to set some boundaries.
Right. Respect. Mm-hmm. If they're not respecting you publicly, like they do privately, or respecting you privately like they do publicly, either way, then that's a problem.
Yes.
Because sometimes when they want to get around people, they want to show up. Or then when they're in the house, they want to talk to you any kind of way. And then they get around people like, yeah, this is my baby. No, because you was just in the house calling me all sorts of names.
Exactly.
And, you know, I'm not attracted to you because you don't do this, you don't do that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the other thing is trust. If there's not genuine trust there, if they're always blaming you for doing something sneaky or dishonest, it's because they're hiding something.
Yeah, because they're hiding something. So they got to flip the script and make you think that you're the one that's being dishonest when they're actually the one
being dishonest.
Just like when they accuse you of cheating. Oh, why you wearing all that makeup? Why you wearing that outfit? You got another man? But it's not that you got another man. It's that they got another chick on the side.
And so they're thinking like, well, if I got a chick on the side and she's married, what will keep my wife from not being that way?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like in a marriage, you know, there was some time, you know, when Derek go out and he was always saying he get this free coffee from 7-Eleven, Stacey. It was this lady at 7-Eleven who always give my husband free coffee. And I'll be like, I know he's some babe. She ain't got no teeth on the side. You ain't got to worry about her. But y'all know we done with some folk that may not have had no teeth.
Like, I don't care.
Receding hairline, their shoes was around there. Don't act like everybody you done kikied and ha-ha was all the way together. We ain't gonna talk about that piece. But he would say that, y'all, and I was a little jealous of the little 7-Eleven girl. And I knew who she was. I was like, ain't no way nobody want her, but she was sure kikiing and he would kiki ha-ha. So one day we went and he was going there to get his coffee. He knew he was paying for it, but she would give it to him free. And so he'd go to the counter, right? And y'all may have heard me tell his story, and she right there smiling his face. And then I come up to him and I like grab him, and she looking like, and then I kiss him in the mouth. And she was like, oh my God, like panicking. And then he just chuckling. He was like, and she was like, aren't you married? He was like, that's my wife. This chick was hot. And then he's like, baby, you done messed up my free coffee.
I know, right?
You done messed up my free coffee. But I say that to say, because of previous relationships I've had, I had built up so much insecurity. This lady working at 7-Eleven with no teeth.
Snag a tooth.
Had me worried about, not that my husband would get with her, but I was a little jealous.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was in good shape, had a great corporate America job. We lived in, like, we were happy. And I'm worried about this lady at 7-Eleven that I knew caught the bus to get to her job. And so what I'm saying again is insecurity, jealousy, all those things are not, they're not equally aligned with, it's because I walk with a limp, or I'm unattractive, or I don't have pretty hair, or I don't have a nice shape. No, that can come upon us, those of us who ideally would be deemed as attractive. So the last thing is affection. And so when I dug into that affection, I kept trying to make it like relationship with a couple. But even my friends, there should be some type of affection. Now, don't let our head go to meaning physically, right? But affection emotionally. Renee and I walk, and so there's affection in our relationship. There is care. There is concern. If there is not care, concern in your relationship, if there's not trust, and if there's not mutual respect, then it's toxic. It is room, and you got to call people out on those things.
You do.
I have some very close friends, and it doesn't mean we always see eye to eye. And if you don't, and something doesn't rattle right, you got to address those things, and we can't be so sensitive that we're not going to own our poop. Right. Like, own the part that you play. Oh, no, it's because you did this. No, I want to call you out. Again, y'all use this technique. When you do this, it makes me feel this way.
Right.
Well, Renee, it's because you blah, 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 blah. No matter what I do, what I am saying is when you demonstrate this behavior, it makes me feel like this. Yeah. And so I got to own the part. Well, that's not my intentions. People don't measure your intent. Nope. They measure your actions. How you make them feel. Right? Mm-hmm. We know that. Maya Angelou had a famous quote. People may not remember what you said or what you did to them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Mm-hmm. How you made them feel. And so y'all remember that when you encounter individuals, how are you making people walk away from your presence? Right. If you're in a relationship, if it got to get to the point where y'all are neck to neck, you got to curse each other out and you got to talk bad about each other and defame, you need to already hit exit stage left. Yeah, absolutely. When it gets that bad. Absolutely. And it doesn't mean, of course, just because you're married or you're in a relationship that you've been in for a while, it doesn't mean that there's not some toxic traits going on in those relationships. And if you want it to work, those individuals have to own it, and there has to be, and sometimes bring somebody else in. And if they don't want anybody else in, they don't want to help it.
Yeah, because it's not that it's irreparable. It could be a case that person is exhibiting that behavior may be going through something somewhere else in their life. Mm-hmm. And you know how they say we tend to the closest person to us is who we kind of let loose on, that we think that we can let loose on that person. Yeah. Even though my issues might be in corporate America, or maybe my issues are with my sister or my brother, but that person that you are the closest to, you often exhibit that bad behavior with.
I told y'all about a young lady I used to work with at West. And she was just mean. She was just a mean woman. But once I got to know her, she was being abused by her husband. Mm-hmm. So at home, she was being abused. And at work, she was doing the abusing, the way she talked to people. Right. And she was always angry. And I was able to tap into that space finally. But we knocked heads for a while because nobody wanted to deal with that. And then until I realized that was the deal. So unhealthy relationships also contain control. If you're dating a partner, you're in a relationship with somebody married, makes all the decisions and tells the other one what to do, what to wear, or who to spend time with, that's unhealthy.
It is.
So hostility, dishonesty, disrespect, dependence, intimidation. Right. There's some relationships that we intimidate our partners. Mm-hmm. We intimidate our
That's
partners.
how you control them.
That's how you control them.
That's how you control them.
And you know what? That even goes for some, like, I be telling my son that. I said, don't you let any of those teachers intimidate you. Mm-hmm. Don't let them intimidate you or make you like squirrel down, and you be respectful and let mommy be equal with them as an adult.
Exactly.
But if you feel intimidated, you exit stage left. I tell him that as well.
Yeah.
And don't turn it into disrespect because you're representing me. And so Jordan will say, I did not go into the presence of that instructor because he makes me feel like this as a black male. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And so because things can be exaggerated or influenced by social media, instead of going to the principal and all that, I had a conversation with the instructor. And he was like, well, I work in a school with predominantly black children. That doesn't mean that you don't exhibit certain behaviors. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's a big accusation. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't there accusing. I was just letting him know when he exhibits this or yells at my son or does this, this is how it makes Jordan feel. And Jordan ain't that kid. And I'll transparently tell y'all, he had like all A's and B's, and in PE, he had an F. I said, how you got an F in PE?
Right.
But PE ain't jump rope no more, y'all, where you can just jump rope mm-hmm. and do all this other stuff. They do med puzzles or whatever, all this like how you should eat, which we need, and you know, right. what your, you know, what's your nutrition and mm-hmm. what are some allergies, you know, again, that shouldn't be in the school, certain foods, shellfish and peanut butter. So all that other stuff. And Jordan in his head was like, PE should be PE, let's climb the rope, let's mm-hmm. run. And so I had to tell him reposition that. And so he found himself having to make up assignments and things of that nature, because sometimes he was like, no, I think he's just doing it to me. No, he isn't, Jordan. The state requires it now. Also, y'all, the bigger part of unhealthy relationships is physical and sexual violence. I want to tell y'all this. Just because you're in a relationship with someone, I gotta verify on TikTok. See, they want to make sure I done said something. There we go. See? TikTok, you're doing all this types of stuff. But just because you're in a relationship with someone does not give them the right to have intercourse with you if you did not give them permission.
Right, exactly.
That was a big one. And I was like, and you know, some men be like, that's my wife. We married. I should be able to get it. If I say no, it means no.
No means no.
No means no. Now, ladies, let me tell y'all this. Okay. Easy for me to say. I ain't got a man now, and I used to do this. You can't always be sleepy. And you 54, menopause have hit you a couple of years ago. Maybe not all y'all. I'm so sorry that it hadn't hit y'all. I was in my late 40s, and I appreciate it. But you can't always be tired and sleep. Don't always tell a man no. Now, just the same, he can't take it. I just wanted to say, if you say no, he can't just take it from you. And so that's another type of control, right? Yeah. And so women will use that as control for our men or a relationship we're in. You can't be punishing nobody holding your good goods back. Is that you can't put them on punishment? They grown people. Now, don't get me wrong. If bills are due and we at each other's neck, don't nobody want to be.
Well, that's the flip side of it.
Face down, up.
Yeah. Okay.
I bet not ask for that song doing karaoke. Face down, hands
flip it up, slap it, whatever, however you do it.
We don't want because I ain't ready then because things are tension. So let's take care of everything else.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take care of everything else. You know what I'm saying? Let's make sure you wash your hands when you use the bathroom, brush your teeth in the morning before you start talking about wanting to be. Like, it's just basic hygiene stuff.
Exactly.
Too.
Exactly. Don't
that you want to
just come over here like that.
Just come over.
I'm okay with that.
Like, just I'm okay. It's not. Mm-mm. So I wanted to throw that piece in. I didn't want to hamper on it because a lot of people get sensitive on that. But many people with toxic traits don't realize that their behavior impacts others. Did y'all know that? Many people with toxic traits doesn't realize that their behavior impacts others. You may have toxic traits that you don't even know about. Dun, 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 dun. So we may be having toxic traits that we don't know about. And I believe that I do have some toxicity. Mm-hmm. Look, Jordan on his way down is 58, y'all. He be ready to get on that PlayStation. But I believe I had some toxic behaviors that I want to work on, that I want to take. Like, I was taken into my marriage. You know, Derek and I would fence, and I was like, so you leaving now? Because that's what they do. Normally you fuss, get out my house. Mm-hmm. But Derek was like, this is our house. Like, because we were in there together. He moving my house, so I wasn't putting him out. He said, I'm going to go out back. You going down the hall. But I'm sleeping in my bed. Okay. Like, and so those were some of the toxic behaviors I took into relationships that I won't take into another. Right. Because he challenged me on it. Right. And so, ladies, I want to also say, because of relationships that we in, there's some toxicity that occurs that we may become a part of our profile that we'll take into other relationships. And I know our time is going, so let me wrap. It says the first way to know if your relationship is worth, and this is on the saving piece when I ask, like, how do you know you should save it? The first way to know if your relationship is worth saving is that you are both committed to growth individually and together. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't be making nobody do nothing, right?
And I think that that's something that you need to be able to have a conversation about. You know, are you open to growing? You know, because some people are stuck, and they will tell you, "I'm good right where I'm at."
I mean, I told you the guy, and I'll say this in my closing: the guy who told me that he was a narcissist. He was like, "You see me? You see me? Do you see who I am?" And because he did, Stacey, he looked good, but he was like, "You see who I am? Uh-oh. I know you better back up." Jordan, don't do that. I told y'all he always busts in on the end of our lives. Can you excuse us so we can wrap up? Thank you. We appreciate it. Everybody need a Jordan in their life. He gonna keep the time, right? But this guy says, I ain't got no problem getting the meow.
Yeah.
That's what he tells me. He said, I can get meow and I can get meow. I said, well, you won't get this meow per. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You making not have no problem getting them other little kitty cats.
Right.
But baby, you won't get this lioness. Mm-mm. And he got hot about that. I thought you were different. Then you want to flip the switch. Go over there with your little meows, your little kitty cats. Yeah. And you got to be okay with it. Exactly. Just because he had a nice job, nice cars, nice build, handsome, all that. I don't care. Because I already had my own nice car, my own nice house. And remember, she just told you Goodwill had the little things for $1.99. I ain't buy it though, y'all. But again, today's topic was on recognizing the warning signs. And we again appreciate you liking, following, sharing our content. This is our last podcast of the year. So next Sunday and the Sunday after, we will not be here. Our next podcast will be the first of the year, and we can't wait to bring new content, new discussion, all of that. Like somebody even want a roundtable dating. I don't have enough men that watch to set y'all up on dates. They be like, Q, you be out here, seem like you know the guys. Can we get some like dating circles going on? Y'all, if I knew him, I swear I would have a baby daddy. Nah, not a baby daddy. But I would, listen, y'all, I'm vetting through these because I see signs. I'm recognizing warning signs early. And absolutely, you gotta know who you are. So, Renee, thank you again for joining me in the conversation. Absolutely. I know normally you're behind the scenes. Sure I'm challenging all of our followers and our listeners. Y'all, come ask us about content. Come do it. Maybe the first of the year, we'll talk about Jamie Foxx. And by then, everybody would have watched his special. Because one thing Jamie Foxx said, he said, how did this happen to me? I'm Jamie Foxx.
That's right.
I'm Jamie.
He said, I'm Jamie
and
Foxx.
you know, we probably like, how did this happen? I said that, how my husband died. I'm Elder Quarter Brown. Like, right. But guess what? None of us are above the fall or reprieve. So again, thanks for watching. We appreciate y'all. TikTok. We be trying. Y'all know TikTok adds some stuff, so I apologize for the pause, but we started it back up. Facebook, y'all know y'all always be my always and forever. Oh, karaoke was last night. I'll leave it there. YouTube, y'all are the audience that's going to grow our pockets. We need it. Again, we are currently a zero negative funded podcast. All the equipment that's in this room has been a seed sown. And we're just believing that one day we'll be able to be able to get, some endorsements and all that other stuff. Because, honey, this mouth right here and this smile, now that I got that side tooth fixed, we're going to work it out. But again, from us to you, happy holidays. Happy holidays. Put your own oxygen mask on first. And remember, if you can't do anything else, please be kind to other people. You never know what somebody is going through. It's some tough days. We may smile and never know, right? So make sure you put your own oxygen mask on. Be kind to other people. And if you don't do anything else, do two things. Inhale, exhale, and breathe easy, baby. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye. Next year. Hey. Boop, boop, boop. Off air.